When you witness the wreckage of an enemy nation's most advanced fighter jet being ceremoniously displayed at a military parade, only to learn these trophies are entirely fabricated, does the entire spectacle strike you as both absurd and pathetic? This was precisely the scene at this year's Republic Day parade in India. Before the eyes of the nation, a float named United Victory slowly rolled past the reviewing stand, prominently displaying meticulously crafted models of the wreckage from Pakistan Air Force's Saab 2000 early warning aircraft, J-10C fighter jet, and the wreckage of an HQ-9B air defense radar antenna. These were surrounded by models of India's S-400 air defense system, BrahMos missiles, and Rafale fighter jets. The scene even featured smoke and lighting effects simulating the hangar destroying the J-10C explosion. This meticulously staged visual spectacle aimed to proclaim India's overwhelming victory in last year's aerial confrontation with Pakistan. Yet, anyone with even basic knowledge of modern air combat would recognize that this performance exposed not India's strength, but its deeply ingrained psychological victory mentality and fundamental misunderstanding of modern warfare systems. This public celebration, which elevates illusory achievements to sacred status, has become a distorted mirror reflecting not military prowess, but strategic anxiety and cognitive dissonance. It resembles a political spectacle for domestic audiences rather than a credible deterrent aimed at professional adversaries. In fact, regarding the border air battle that occurred last May, the consensus among international military observers is that the Pakistan Air Force held a clear tactical advantage. India's urgency to reshape the narrative through parade floats in the cinder formation aerial display stems fundamentally from its inability to confront the fatal weaknesses exposed in integrated combat operations. Let us pierce through the smoke of the parade grounds and delve into the glaring focal point on the float, the J-10C model. This fourth-and-a-half generation fighter, developed by China and exported to Pakistan, truly sticks in India's throat due to its active, phased array radar and the PL-15E medium to long-range air-to-air missile with astonishing range. This combination grants Pakistani pilots the first to detect, first to fire advantage in beyond visual range air combat, creating an asymmetric technological gap. According to open-source intelligence and defense assessments, the PL-15E's range may exceed 150 kilometers. Its dual-pulse engine creates an extremely high no-escape zone in the terminal phase. While India's Rafale fighters are currently equipped with the high-performance Meteor ramjet-powered missile, its range of approximately 100 kilometers pales in comparison to the PL-15E. This implies that in aerial combat engagements, J-10C fighters armed with PL-15E missiles can initiate multiple waves of intercepts before Indian aircraft enter effective attack range. This forces Indian fighters into either passive evasion maneuvers or complex tactical avoidance relying on early warning aircraft support, drastically limiting their tactical options. More crucially, Pakistan has deeply integrated the J-10C into a network-centric warfare architecture that unifies detection, command, and strike capabilities through the introduction of ZDK-03 AWACS aircraft and a systematic data link system. The models of the destroyed Saab 2000 and HQ-9 be displayed on the float symbolically suggest that India recognizes the critical role of Pakistan's air defense early warning system. By attempting to symbolically destroy the system, India paradoxically highlights its frustration at failing to achieve this objective in actual combat. In contrast, the Indian Air Force, despite its formidable paper strength and advanced fighter jets from Russia, France, Israel, and other nations, has consistently failed to resolve the interoperability challenges posed by its multinational equipment mix. The lack of data link connectivity between the Su-30MKI, Rafale, and MiG-29, coupled with difficulties in real-time tactical intelligence sharing, proves fatal in the split-second dynamics of modern aerial combat. The Rafale's advanced spectrum electronic warfare systems may face compatibility issues with the radar warning receivers of Russian-made fighters. Target data acquired by Israeli-made airborne pods may not seamlessly transfer to Su-30MKIs armed with Russian missiles. Such inherent system friction might be masked during peacetime joint exercises but becomes glaringly apparent under high-intensity combat conditions. In contrast, the Pakistan Air Force, supported by integrated Chinese-made equipment and early warning aircraft, achieves an efficient closed-loop system spanning detection, command, and attack. India's deliberate placement of a J-10C wreckage model alongside defensive weapons, like the S-400 and BrahMos missiles on its parade float, attempting to project an illusion of comprehensive dominance, only exposes its anxiety over lacking cross-service, cross-equipment combat coordination capabilities. Such displays, which distort real battlefield conditions, and fabricate one-sided victories, amount to nothing more than meticulously staged sandbox games. Beyond misleading domestic audiences, they offer no practical benefit to enhancing combat effectiveness. Ironically, the aircraft composition of the cinder formation inadvertently serves as a visual report of their own combat losses. International observers keenly noted the subtle correspondence with Pakistan's earlier combat claims. As if India were acknowledging through dark humor, our aircraft of these models all endured severe trials in that intense engagement. This unintentional confession casts an absurd aura over the entire air show. This tradition of celebrating a funeral runs deep in Indian military propaganda. It is not merely political theater, but reflects a profound social psychology and strategic culture. From the 2015 celebration of the 50th anniversary of the glorious victory in the 1965 war, a conflict that actually ended in a stalemate and in mediation, at a cost of hundreds of millions of rupees, to the current packaging of a highly contested air battle result exposing numerous technical shortcomings. As the central theme of Republic Day celebrations, the underlying drivers are a complex convergence of three forces: rising nationalist sentiment within India, the political demands of the ruling party, and the military bureaucracy's need to maintain its image. The Modi administration understands that for most citizens lacking specialized military knowledge, visually striking symbols and simplified narratives of victory hold far greater persuasive power than complex, obscure tactical analyses or uncertain battlefield reconstructions. Such approaches are more effective at uniting public opinion and solidifying the legitimacy of governance. Thus, even if the J-10C model on that float might not even get the DSI bulge detail on the engine air intakes right, and even if the appearance of the cinder formation seemed more like an inadvertent admission of their own combat losses, as long as the parade passed by amid deafening cheers, moral victory is declared complete. The celebratory coverage by domestic media then solidifies this perception. The danger lies in how this approach fosters a false sense of security and invincibility, potentially lulling decision-makers and the public into misjudging the military's actual combat readiness and shortcomings. This hinders painful yet necessary reforms, such as accelerating the substantive deployment of domestically produced equipment, breaking down data barriers between military branches and equipment suppliers, and overhauling the bloated defense procurement system. Yet the laws of modern warfare remain unchanged by grand parades. The laws of physics and battlefield realities apply equally to all. If India fails to confront its deep-seated issues in system integration, indigenous defense manufacturing, combat-oriented training, and joint command structures, while remaining fixated on a department store approach to procuring advanced equipment and reveling in self-crafted narratives of victory, the price paid in future high-intensity conflicts may prove far more devastating. After all, what decides victory on the battlefield is never the dazzling models and colored smoke of a parade, but the cold, hard distance readings on radar screens, the instantaneously shared target trajectories within data links, and the tactical decisions pilots make under intense pressure based on real-time intelligence. While India busies itself creating shoot-down effects with smoke and lights, its true adversaries are quietly calibrating coordinates within the next engagement range. Leveraging the power of integrated systems,